I'm David Ainsworth, Head of Communications for the United Nations Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity. We're here at Substa 26. Today's Biodiversity Beat interview is with Heitor Ponce Dellasta from the Global Youth Biodiversity Network. He is the policy coordinator. Heitor, welcome.
Thank you very much for receiving us here, David. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Very good, very good. So youth is really important for implementation of the convention as well. But one of the things our audience would like to know are how are youth contributing to the implementation of this new global biodiversity framework, the Biodiversity Plan?
Yes, I think it's a truly important question. And I used to say that we are organized from global to national to local level to support the GBF, which means that we have our constituency, that is the official youth constituency for the CBD, doing policy at global level. So we have supported the design, and now we are supporting the implementation of the GBF itself, carrying our main concerns for intergenerational equity, about human rights, about transformative education. So if you follow up the process of negotiations, you see that these demands are also being pushed at us, from us. And at the same time, we're also organized in local level. So the youth are already contributing with grassroots and local action with restoration projects, education projects, public awareness into their own spaces, including international territories, with the updating of the NBSAPs itself.
Wow, so this is really radically cross-cutting across all works of the convention and mainstreaming. That's quite impressive. The involvement in the NBSAPs is particularly important, actually.
Yes, it is.
So let's talk a little bit. We always say that it's important that youth should be involved in decision making. So what is special about youth involvement in decision making?
Okay, yes. Let me say, I guess, two main important things. We're born in a new time, so which means that we are facing different transformations, and of course, we're talking about technology, internet, but we're also facing a changing world that is, of course, caused by the main drivers, by biodiversity loss and climate change. So we are now concerned about our future, and we are already facing the impact of this environmental damage that we are facing. So this creating us two different approaches. That one is our courage, and when I say courage, is our courage to really address the drivers and the truly economic system that bring us here into the situation. So this makes us be against status quo, against market-based approaches that are not being useful, or all the false solutions that we consider also in governance systems. So this is for us is important to understand that these perspectives that are guided only by monetary or economic perspectives are not under our responsibility. And adding to this, I think the other really important things that because of this, we are also driving the different values perspectives. So when we are doing our approaches, we are also carrying other types of values with us, which means that we are really concerned about the relationship and understanding the relationship with nature and people, nature and society, and that we have intrinsic values that nature itself does not depend on our judge, and also relational values about how people care about Earth. So we have our flags right now that is justice, is kindness, is care, is stewardship with the Earth. And can we start putting these values to drive decision-making process? And I think this is what we are really trying to achieve into all our actions and projects in general.
That's interesting. The multiple values of biodiversity are reflected in that. And that's something that's an important new development, this recognition of all of these different values. So one other thing we talk about is that to get youth involved, we need a number of enabling conditions. What does that look like, the right enabling conditions for youth?
Yes. I actually appreciate this question because this is a truly important thing for us. So we hear a lot about youth engagement, youth involvement, but we still have a lot of lacks and gaps to make this happen. And that point a few of them, I guess, of course, that we have financial support, that we point this a lot. We know that we have the information of the $700 billion annually to close the biodiversity finance gap. We have the target 19 under the GPF that trying to increase resources. But I think we also need a further discussion, that is, how can we discuss the inclusivity and the accessibility of these resources and guarantee that this type of resources are also reaching the ground, and reaching the ground of course, that I'm talking about youth, but we are also and always carrying our demands side by side with indigenous peoples, local communities, and women. So to close these, we need to think about the strategies. We need to think about also how to bridge this global finance mechanism into grassroots organizations, because we still have so many difficulties with bureaucratic, institutional, or legal perspectives that drive us very far away from the access of these resources. I would say that we also have non-financial resources, and we do need increased capacity building and transformative education, both for our personnel capacities, of course, but also this institutional capacity that I mentioned. So you need to have youth-led, women and IP and NLC-led organizations with institutional development that are able also to access this type of resources, non-financial resources, or at least be able to cooperate, scientific cooperation, technical cooperation, and other related stuffs. And probably the last perspective is the meaningful participation, and we are always trying to get a lot of attention to this word of meaningful. So we have seen the increase of youth participation into the process, but not all the time they are meaningful. So when we are talking about meaningful, we are really talking about, are we being provided from the right tools to be here, or are we being selected in the truly way where we can represent our demands? So youth have different perspectives, but youth also have different expertise. So when you are trying to engage youth, we also have different youth with different expertise that can address different perspectives. It's not only about age, but also this relationship, and also probably above all, the representative of youth in a general context. So youth is not about only a personal perspective, but it's about how we are involved in our communities, how we are involved in the global movement of the youth, and then we are representing collective voice when we are talking about this. And this is what we are considering being involved in a meaningful participation. So I will go for these three perspectives at least.
Great, thanks very much. I mean, it's fascinating. All of these perspectives are relevant for youth, but I also find, as you pointed out, they've got resonance for other stakeholders of the convention too.
Yes,
so great.
That's it.
Well, thanks for this exploration of all the breadth and depth of the engagement of youth in the convention process.
No, thank you very much, Masmar, for having us here. It's a pleasure, and we keep in touch.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you.